Hello and welcome to 15 Minute Gamer. My name is Tony and this is my honest impressions / review for Forza Motorsport 7. This is all captured from the PC. That's all my gameplay. So, yeah, before we get into that, let's have a look at the words of the developer and see what they say about the game. Experience the thrill of motorsport to the limit with the most comprehensive, beautiful and authentic racing game ever made. Enjoy gorgeous graphics at 60 FPS and native 4K resolution in HDR. Collect and race more than 700 cars, including the largest collection of Ferraris, Porsches and Lamborghinis ever. Challenge yourself across 30 famous destinations and 200 ribbons, where race conditions change every time you return to the track. And that's the word. So yes, this is a Microsoft game. So I picked up the $49.99 version of it. There's also a $69.99 version and $79.99 version. Because of course there is. You can't just get a game now and just pay the standard price. You've got to buy everything. However, the cool thing about it is, if I ever bought an Xbox One, I could sit and play this as well. So I think that's really cool. I bought it once and I can play it across the both platforms, which is really good. So yeah, my PC isn't the best PC. It's a 970 GTX, it's got an i5 processor, and this doesn't usually drop below 60 frames per second. I wouldn't like to push it above that. It's got this cool graphics mode, which kind of looks how you play. It's called dynamic graphics, and it picks all the best stuff for you while it's playing, and it's done such a good job. It runs so smooth. I've seen a lot of PC players complain that it's got it stutters along, just like I did there, and yeah, it stops every so often and it's not very smooth, but I didn't find a single problem with it. I've been really impressed with how well this is run. It doesn't matter how many cars are on track, it doesn't matter if it's pouring down with rain, if it's lightning, whatever, I've had no slowdown. So if you're thinking, oh, I don't know if to get it, I said, my PC's, it's alright, it's good, but it's not amazing, and it still runs perfectly fine, so yeah, it could be worthwhile picking up. So the game itself, well, let's talk about that. So I've always enjoyed the Forza Motorsport series. I've kind of liked Forza Horizon more, and in fact, I missed Forza Horizon 2 and I was good. It was the one thing that was keeping me towards Xbox, and I went, oh, I can't just keep an Xbox for one game, so I swapped to the PlayStation. But that was the one game I was like, oh, it was just, it's a killer game for the system. Forza is just such a good series. The only problem with the previous Motorsport games in the series is just that they were kind of lacking that longevity to keep playing it. Like, I'd play it for a few hours and just go, oh, I'm just driving the same cars on the same track, and blah, 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 and I'm bored. Whereas Forza Horizon, you would go around islands and, you know, building things up. Oh, I love Forza Horizon. But yeah, this one here is what we're talking about. We're not talking about Forza Horizon. But yeah, a lot of pedigree behind this. They're a very good game company. They've been going such a long time, 10 Studios. And I can safely say Forza Motorsport 7 is a triumph. It is so good. I love this race game. I've put so many hours into this already, and I'm really enjoying it. So I'd say it's perfect. I'm going to cover them soon. But as a racing game, as a game you can pick up, play, feel like you're Michael Schumacher bombing around at 200 miles an hour and feel like you're invincible, this is the game for you. It will make you feel like that if you want that feeling. I'm not the greatest at racing games. I've played so many racing games. I've played them from the Formula 1 games to the Forza. I will be picking Gran Turismo, Project Cars, you know, the TOCA series back in the days. I've played racing games all over. I play them constantly, and it's one of my favourite genres of games, I would say. But the only problem with all of them is just it's hard to keep me interested, and you know, some of the only ones I said are probably the Horizon series, the only ones I've kind of sat and got all the way to the end because there's actually something to do. But you know, like, some are a bit too arcadey, some are a bit too simulated. Sometimes it's hard to find one that's kind of just right. This sits on the arcade side of gaming. You know, it's got a lot of help, it's got a lot of support, it's got a lot of things that are going to help you drive better, from, you know, automatic braking that's spot on, to automatic steering that helps a lot, to ABS, to traction control. How do you want your damage? Do you want to be cosmetic? Do you want tire wear on and fuel and stuff like that? And you know, you can totally tailor this experience to you and how you enjoy playing. You can have the difficulty set to 20, 30, 40, 50%. You can also, and one of my favourite features, driver tours, I'll explain them in a bit. But yeah, you can also set how aggressive they are. They're going to be aggressive or non-aggressive, or how do they drive? And I love that. So yeah, it's a really good game. If you're into sim racing and you love the Dirt Rally series, and you want to do this and put your dampeners and your cambers and your ride height and stuff like this, it's probably not the game for you. You know, if you want that sort of thing, get yourself over to Project Cars. If you want to drive 700 of the best looking cars around tracks at top speeds, feel good, generally have a good chance of winning most races unless you do something wrong, and has a rewind feature as well. So you make a mistake, you just press Y and it rewinds time a little bit so you get another chance, then this is the game for you. Also, it sounds awesome. The cars all sound great. The tracks seem alive. The graphics are top notch. Be it in, I've put some wet footage up there already. We're now nighttime racing. It's just fantastic. It's such a good game in every single way of how it handles things and looks and sounds and the weather conditions. And yeah, for a racing game, you'll not go wrong. I can highly, highly recommend how good this game is for just letting you get on and race. Some of the things I would kind of say against it maybe are just the fact it doesn't kind of feel like you're in a race. Like, there's no driver engineering talking to you. There's no rules as such. Like, you can just ram cars off, undertake them on the grass, go across the grass, take little shortcuts. It's not bothered about that sort of thing. It does just want you to have a lot of fun in the game. And you know, it's not just the races you get to do. You get to do things like this, which is what's on screen now, which is go bowling around the Top Gear test track in a limo, or, you know, there's ones where you'll say be in a Porsche and you got to take over Porsches of all the same era, or race around or go off-road racing or whatever. And yeah, there's things to break it up in the championship. We're going to cover the championship in a bit as well. But you know, it's not just racing round and round and round in circles. Yeah, there's some race series on there that are dull. I've just finished NASCAR. Oh god, that was so boring. Go around in circles, I didn't enjoy that at all. But apart from that, I've quite enjoyed it. The cameras are also really good. You get the inside camera, the outside cameras. The camera kind of moves with you as well, and if you're doing over 200 miles an hour, it's kind of blanks out as you do it as well, so it's kind of like your G-forces are hitting you. You can get stats on the screen such as G-force, acceleration, your tyre temperatures and stuff, and it all works really, really well. I just love it. Before the race starts is where it gets a little bit more interesting. So it does feel like you're setting up for a race. The load times are a little bit long. I'll have to give it against that. They're a bit like, oh god, this is taking a while. But yeah, before the race you can install your mods. We're going to cover that in a bit. You can buy loot crates, which is what's on the screen now. You can attach the mods. So basically how the mods work is if you want to get XP or extra credits or whatever, you can put it across. You can change your drive avatar difficulty. You can do settings. You can set your car up and all this before the race. It's all on the loading screen, so it does kind of give you something to do. It's not like you just sat there on the loading screen going, oh, this is so dull. You can mess around with your cars, change cars, have a look at the standings, that sort of thing. And even though it is a little bit long-winded, and you can also see I have a giraffe outfit now. This game instantly got a 10 out of 10. I was like, giraffe outfit, yay! I'm driving as a giraffe. Oh, so cool. I'm really joking. It does. But yeah, giraffe outfit was fantastic. So yeah, this is the NASCAR now, just showing you a tiny little bit of this. But you just drive around. So, but you can see here, I just come down the inside, bash them out of the way, get in the fit. So the final few things I want to talk about is the drivatar. So the drivatars basically give the opponent your friends' names off Xbox Live, and some randoms if you don't have, you know, many friends like I do, because I don't have an Xbox, so I never add anyone from there. But basically, it learns how they race. It learns how you race, and you'll be in your friends' games, and they'll be in your games. Your drivatar actually makes money for you when you're offline, so it'll take part in races and just win money for you. I was wondering if I would log back in like Forza Motorsport 5, how much money I would have. But yeah, so basically that's what the drivatar does. And it means they don't just stick to the racing line. They don't just drive around. Like on Project Cars 2, it has a thing where you go near them and they kind of like shuffle out the way. In here, if you racing against somebody who does barge out the way on you on when they play, it will barge you on here, you know, they'll take you out, they'll smash you into a wall, and I really like that. And when you're chasing down your friend who's first, it gives you that little bit of extra, like, I need to catch this person, I'm gonna catch them, I'm not gonna let them get away. And I really, really like that. I just think it's such a good feature. So drivatar is just such a big thumbs up, and I think it's such a wonderful feature. But yeah, that's about it for how the game is. So I just love the sound, I love the graphics. It's just, you know, the racing really close, wheel to wheel stuff. You don't get like lost if you get into first. If you make a mistake, the chances are you'll probably end up second. They'll kind of be a little bit back on the 40% difficulty. You know, like if it's a 2-lap race, you will struggle to catch up with them. Like it's usually just towards the end of lap 2 you'll kind of capture them. But you know, as long as you put the corners in right and you do it right, you will catch them. And even if you come second or third, it's no big deal. And they'll stay on your tail, they're still close by, and that's what I love about it. The racing is close. You never kind of feel like you're just miles ahead or way out of it. Like there's always kind of that excitement of being able to get first place. So yeah, let's talk a little bit about the main negative for me, which is the loot crate system. So for those who don't know, loot crates or prize crates are basically things that are put in the game and they're used with in-game currency or your own currency, as in actual paying money for it. And what you do is they'll have items in and stuff like that for you to buy. So Overwatch was kind of one of the bigger ones to do this. Now every game seems to have them in. So the argument always was, well, it's just cosmetic, it doesn't damage the game, it doesn't give you an advantage, it doesn't change game time or anything like that. And that was fine. You know, I was fine with that. If people want to spend money on loot crates, it's perfect. In fact, I've done a loot crate rant video not so long ago. But in this game, what the crates give you are cars, mods, and driver gear, basically. There's a few other things. So what it's encouraging you to do is, if you want to progress through the game at a less grindy pace, because there is a lot. I mean, each trophy there's about 15 races to do, and you're going to have to do quite a few of them just to get to the next level. So if you don't want to do all that, and you want to get through it a little bit quicker, you want to earn more money, more XP, what do you have to do? Buy a loot crate. So you spend all your money getting a loot crate. Then what you got to do? You got to do a bit more grinding to get a loot crate, to do a bit more grinding to get a loot crate. You can see the issue here. And I feel that the game has been made a little bit grindy on purpose to have these in. I think the game has been made to, you know, to develop these into the game. I find them grindy. They're on the screen before you start a race. Now, anyone who says you don't have to buy them, why would they put them on the main race screen if you didn't have to buy them? Why do we need it? Like, you used to be able to turn some mods off. Like, you used to be able to go, right, okay, well, I'm going to turn ABS off and it'll give you 10% more credits, right? I'm going to make the driver tours harder, right? 10% more credits. I'm going to do this, 10% more credits. Now, none of that happens. You've got to have loot crates to get mods. You don't get mods from racing. You can only get them through loot crates. Now, at the moment, they are only done so that you basically can use in-game currency. But they have said it's going to go to real currency, so you'll have to actually buy these in the future. You'll probably be able to do a mixture of both. I spent 300,000 credits, which took a while, on the most expensive loot crate, and I got a boatload of rubbish out of it. Absolute boatload of rubbish. But never mind. So this is the championship system here. I don't want to go negative too much. Everyone knows how much I hate loot crates. But basically what you got to do is go in, click on the championship you want to do, select the car you want to buy. Most cars are pretty expensive. You get around about 20-30 grand per race. Unless if you mod it. Now the cars are quite expensive, so you might have to spend, like I did, 150 grand on a car to do a championship. You complete a championship, you might only get 100 grand back, so you're minus 50 grand to be able to do a championship. So what you got to do? Buy a loot crate to get mods to go on to the next thing. It's purposely grindy. I wouldn't say it's ungenerous with the money at all. I think it's all right with the generous of the money. But to progress, you've got to spend this money on the loot crates to get the mods, or you've got to grind. And that's all I'm saying. I don't like them. I think it's been put in there deliberately. They're not too intrusive, I mean, apart from being on the main screen, and I'm sure you can play the games to your heart's content without ever opening the loot crate. But if you haven't got much time like me, I don't have a lot of time to game. Has the game been made for encouraging me to buy loot crates? Yes. And will a lot of people buy loot crates? Yes, because they haven't got time to spend doing hours and hours of going around the same track over and over again. Whew. Yeah, I don't like loot crates, as you can probably tell. So yes. That is the only negative on this game. That's one negative. I wish the race days were a little bit more like you got a bit more excitement from sort of a race engineer. Or when you were doing through the story, there was a little bit more, like, you know, you had some sort of, even if it was just like a caravan to go into that you could do, or just something a little bit more on top of just, you kind of pick your car, turn up, do your race, go on to the next series, go on to the next series, go on to the next series. And yeah, it's broken up by other things. I will just say the tracks though look amazing as well. So some of the great tracks on there, like Laguna Seca, Brands Hatch, I love them sort of tracks. There's a cool Dubai one, you know, when the helicopter's flying overhead of you. You can hear the boom, boom, boom of the rotor blades. You can hear music. There's things popping. There's fireworks. And it just always feels really alive. It's such an alive game. And I don't think it was Turn 10 Studios who want to put loot crates in. I very well doubt it. Yeah, if they weren't there, they would have had possibly one of the best racing games I've ever played on the hands. But it's just hampered. It's purposely hampered and made a little bit more grindy. Even if it's just made 5% more grindy, it's made 5% more grindy just for the purpose of fitting in these loot crates. Also, another annoying thing, to get up to the next tier, you have to buy cars. So you need to spend money on buying cars to go to the next tier. On Forza, I used to always do my cars up. I put liveries on them. I put spoilers. I'd put different diffusers. I would put weight reductions on. Because I'd pick one car and want to use that as much as possible because I loved it and I'll keep doing it up. And then only if I had to move into another car, I would do it. This one, because you're having to buy so many different cars to move up to the next tier, I'm not doing any of the upgradey stuff. And it's not even part of the game. I don't feel like the upgrading of the cars is part of the game anymore. I feel like it's sidelined. Like, it's never even taken me in there in the tutorial part of the game to go and upgrade my car. And there's a ton of cars to buy as well, but because they're quite expensive, you need to be buying the loot, and it's just that vicious circle again, you know. Like, I feel like it's lost something now. It's still an awesome, wonderful game. I really enjoyed it. I've spent so many hours, but in the back of my head, there's always that little nagging in the back of my head going, buy a loot crate, buy a loot crate, buy a loot crate. That's exactly what developers want. I know it is, but it also just hampers me enjoying. I'm not doing my cars up, and that's what I loved about Forza. I love doing my cars up. I love making them unique, putting liveries on them. You know, I'd have all my cars set up in kind of a similar livery. I just loved the way it done that, and I don't know. It's just one of the bad things about it. It does make me angry. This is going to be such an awesome game. So yeah, overall, would I recommend this game? Yes. I said, if you like your racing games and you just want to have a blast with your friends or online or just have some fun, yeah, it's perfect thing. If you want the sim race, no, look elsewhere. It's a very good game on its own merits. It's just, yeah, this whole loot crate thing just ruins it for me. But I've had a lot of fun, really enjoy it. When it comes down in price on the PC, if you can pick it up for around about the £30 mark, it's well worth that. $49.99 PC game. There's not many PC games at that price, unless if you're looking at EA, like Star Wars or something, but even that you can get cheaper than that. But yeah, if you want a racing game, go and check it out. I enjoyed this one a lot, and you know, I think I've been quite fair on it. I absolutely love everything about the race and the enjoyment of it. I just don't like what's happened to the series now, and it makes me worry for the future of the Forza series. But yeah, never mind. But I hope you've enjoyed it. This video. I hope you kind of agree with me. Leave some comments below. You know, a lot of loot crates do cause a lot of controversy, so if you agree or disagree or whatever, just put them down below. But you know, talk about the game. The game, it's a very, very good game, and I'll catch you later. Goodbye.